party.
Who this time?
A bunch of Germans, he said.
Oh, goody.
Jack said without enthusiasm.
Urban cowboys Euro style. Do they speak English?
I don't know, but Dimitri's coming back. He'll be one of the guides.
Oh.
Dmitri Totemov had spent 20 years in the military, most of it in Germany. Few people knew he spoke fluent German because he spoke as little of his native Aleut tongue as was humanly possible already. The sun warmed her skin, the flannel of her shirt, the denim of her jeans. She wriggled out of her shirt and knotted the waist of her t-shirt so that several inches of concave belly were exposed above the snap of her jeans. She was not entirely unaware of her audience. Jack said hopefully,
"Why don't we lay a blanket next to the creek? Catch some rays while they last?"
Kate looped her braid off her neck with a rubber band, fished from one pocket. "You go ahead. I want to fill up this bucket." Jack trailed off to the lodge, pouting. She smiled to herself and waded back into the berry patch. Breathing martyrdom from every pore, Jack put away the breakfast dishes and swept out the lodge before fetching a blanket and a book and spreading out at the edge of the creek bank. Mutt flopped down next to him with a voluptuous sigh.
"Don't get any ideas,"
Jack told her. Mutt, half husky, half timber wolf, stretched out her full 140 pounds so that every possible square inch was exposed to the sun, closed her yellow eyes, and lapsed into a satisfied coma. She'd been doing her share to reduce the spruce hen population near the lodge, and her belly was tight beneath the thick gray pelt. Kate waded deeper into the brush, fat globes of radiant red berries clustering together everywhere she looked, the rays of the sun causing them to glow with luminous, beckoning light. The weather, incredibly, was still holding, although there was a wisp of something on the southeastern horizon that Kate was keeping an eye on. For now, there was the merest breath of a breeze brushing at her cheek. The berries fell into the pail by the handful. An errant wasp buzzed contentedly nearby, and in the polished branches of a tall, dead cottonwood, 2 immature eagles sat silently, immobile, looking half asleep, but no less fierce for that. It was so still that she could hear the page in Jack's book rustle when he turned it, even over the sound of water flowing downstream, a flow diminished from spring torrent to summer gush to a comparative fall trickle. It was narrow and shallow enough to wade across, barely sufficient water for the last exhausted silver salmon to fight her way upstream to lay her eggs, and her burden down forever. Kate paused to flex her shoulders. She'd worked her way down to the edge of the camp, next to the last cabin, the one almost but not quite falling into the Nakochna. The hunting lodge sat 125 miles northeast of Anchorage, 10 miles south of Denali National Preserve, 75 miles southwest of the mountain itself. It had been the rapidly deteriorating remains of a defunct gold mine when George Perry stumbled across it on a deadheader back from a freight trip visit to a girlfriend in McGrath in June about 12 years back. His 180 started losing oil pressure, so he looked around for an airstrip and found this one, jutting north from just before the confluence of the Nakochna and the Kichatna rivers. It was overgrown with alders, surfaced with round river rocks the size of dinner plates, and sported a distinctly uphill grade, but there was enough clear space to put the Cessna down before the engine quit on him. He did, promptly, and if not quite without incident, then without any permanent damage to the gear. Any landing you walked away from was a good landing. When he'd repaired the oil line, he looked around for a reason for the airstrip and found one main building, a shop, a 2-story garage, and 7 small cabins. None of the buildings had foundations, being temporary edifices constructed on skids made of 12x12s. The yard was a jumble of dumped equipment and supplies, ranging from a disassembled, rusted-out steam engine to rotting 2x4s to discarded screws and nails. The undergrowth, consisting of a dozen tangled varieties, from alder to white spruce, was all but marching into the various doors. He took off again and surveyed the area from the air.